Hey everybody, thanks for joining. We're going to start here in just a minute. I'm going to let everybody go ahead and sign on. While you're signing on, go ahead and give me some hearts that I know you're here. And then go ahead and tell me your name and where you're from. My name is Shira Nelson and I am from Tampa, Florida. So I am live broadcasting at nap time and you can see the baby swing there in the back. Awesome. Go ahead and tell me who you are and where you're from just so I can get a feel for who we are. And if you're a mom, tell me how many kids you have. Are you being shy today? All right, there we are. Very cool. Thanks so much for being on. Everybody go ahead and tell me who you are, where you're from, and if you're a mom, tell me how many kids you have. I'm just kind of hanging out on my couch at nap time, doing a little work on the laptop. Very cool. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the word mompreneur and what that means and how kind of I became one and why it's completely changed my life. So I started thinking about it today. You know, we woke up and did breakfast, whatever, and then I took my daughter to swim lessons. We had a workout. We went to the library. Just did that's kind of like my day. And then I put her down for a nap and I work during nap time. Usually 1:30ish to 3 to 4, and then we do an afternoon of activities, and then I usually work again at night or sometimes early in the morning, kind of depending on what life looks like. So anybody else work at home or have a business at home? Give me some hearts if you do. Anyone else? I can't see comments. No? Okay. So I started to think about it today when I was kind of going about my day, and I was thinking how much life has changed, because at this time, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I was already getting into that dreaded mentality of school's about to start, you know, started counting down the days, oh my gosh, I have to go back into the grind. Anybody else in the grind where you kind of have that feeling on Sunday night where you're just this is just not right. You don't want to do what you're going to go do. Anybody else have that? So, because I was a teacher, so I was a teacher for 10 plus years, and I just every Sunday night I was oh man, shit, I gotta go do that again. And it's not that I didn't love teaching. I love teaching, right? I went to school for it. I had a master's degree. It was kind of what I was meant to do. But every Sunday night I had this feeling, and then I was when's my next vacation? And I was always counting down. And at that point, I was you know, maybe this isn't my passion. And I know passion is a word that's kind of thrown around a lot. You know, you hear everybody say, well, this is my passion to do blank, and this is my passion to sell whatever. And so that word's kind of used a lot. So we're going to talk a little bit about what that means to be passionate. But I started to think about maybe teaching really wasn't my passion. Sure, I was good at it. I had skills. I went to school for it. I had the degree. I had a lot of loans, right? So maybe I should do it. But what if I really didn't want to? Was I really being true to myself? And then I started to think about my life as a mom, and is that really what I wanted to do? Did I really want to be in the grind where I was doing, you know, kind of tied to a school schedule and have to put my daughter in daycare and just all of the things associated with it, right? Any other moms relate to that, where you just you want to just stay home with your kids, especially when they're young. That's just something that I always wanted to do. So it was kind of how can I do that? But that at the same time, I really didn't want to just stay home. And I'm not saying staying at home is boring or not fun or fulfilling or in all of those things, because it's amazing. But I also wanted something for me. So something that fulfilled me. And so when I think about it, it was what brought me joy and excitement? What made me stay up at night? When my husband was watching TV, what was I doing? Because I don't really want to engage, you know, that's just not something I like to do. So what was I doing, right? Was I reading about certain things? Was I thinking about certain things? Was I creating? What was I doing? So a lot of times we think about, you know, I have a passion for whatever it is, and we want to start a business, but we don't really know where to go with that. We don't know, some of us don't even really know what our passion is, but we know that what we're doing right now is not really what we want to do. Anybody else in that situation where you kind of feel what you're doing right now is just not what you're really meant to do, or what you feel like you should be doing, maybe because you dread it or maybe because you're not getting to do the things you want to do. Anybody else feel that way? So I kind of felt like, that was not what I wanted to do. And so anyway, fast forward a few years now. And so I have my own business, and part of running my own business is like a twofold. So I get to stay home with my kids and be a mom and do all of the fun things and kind of like the not missing a moment type of a deal where, you go to swim lessons and library and all the fun things that you get to do. But I don't dread my days. I wake up excited for my day. Part of that is because I get to be a mom, but the other part is because I get to work on something that fulfills me, that I absolutely love. I get to work on my online business over at mombeyondbaby.com. And so I teach moms kind of how to do all of this, everything from fat loss to nutrition to kind of finding their passion and creating their own business. So it's just what I love to do. When I have downtime, I work on my business because it's my passion. It gives me joy. It gives me excitement. And so I struggled a lot with that. It's not my skill set as far as what I went to school for. Of course, I've done a lot of trainings and I've learned a lot, but it wasn't kind of like what I was meant to do. But sometimes that's not what we end up doing, right? And that's not the most fulfilling thing. So it's kind of like having an online business. Of course I can work from anywhere. I can work when we travel, when we go on vacation and all of those things. But really for me, it's given me that sense of fulfillment aside from being a mom. So I know a lot of moms are like, but I'm 100% happy as a mom, and I am. I absolutely love being a mom and I love my kids, but there was something kind of missing inside, something that I needed my own thing. And so that's kind of what being a mompreneur, as I call it, and running an online business has done for me. It's kind of given me that sense of fulfillment. Anybody else stay home or run a business or have interest in running your own business? Anybody? So one thing I was going to tell you is, if it's definitely something, I talk to a lot of moms every day who are in the same boat I was, where they're like, I don't really want to go back to work full time and I kind of want to go part time, but that's not really ideal either. I would just love to find something that I can do that excites me and brings me joy. And so that's the first thing I would just say, is to sit down and ask yourself, if you weren't doing what you are doing right now, what would you do? If you could do anything you wanted all day, every day, what would it be? And what fuels you? What fuels your fire? What lights you up? So I ask that a lot. What lights you up? What makes you excited? What brings joy? Of course our kids do, right? As moms, we could talk about our kids all day long. But aside from that, when you take your kids out of the picture, what is it that lights you up? So that's kind of what I want to leave you with today. What lights you up. So we'll be talking about this again, in the future or whatever. But today I just wanted to give you a little glimpse of what mompreneur means to me. It's creating my own stuff and following my passion and kind of living my life as I dreamed it would be. And so here it is. So again, if you have any questions, feel free to contact me, Mom Beyond Baby. But thanks so much for chatting with me on the couch, and I will talk to you soon.